So obviously this past Tuesday was probably the worst day that Republicans have had since November of 2018 when the blue wave hit Congress. This was bad. Republicans were humiliated in blue states, in swing states, and in red states. Across the board. Voters rejected Republicans, rejected conservatism, rejected MAGA. And that's just an appetizer. And Republicans know that. The main course, obviously, is coming a year from now, so we got to wait. Hope you filled up on the apps. But Republicans are headed towards an absolute disastrous November in 2026 with those midterms. Tuesday proved that. And you know what I love about that? Is that even before the voting started on Tuesday, every possible poll, most every Republican analyst had already told us Republicans were going to get their butts handed to them in the 2026 midterms. History told us that that would likely happen. And it's pretty bad. The polls for voter attitudes and opinions on issues, on Trump's approval, on everything, absolutely skewed towards the Democrats' favor, even as Democrats continue to have a near record low approval rating, an approval rating that is actually lower than the Republican Party's approval rating. So even though more people approve of Republicans than Democrats, the fact that they hate everything the Republicans are doing, they hate everything Trump is, says, does, that bodes well for the Democrats. Let me read you some of these numbers here. An NBC poll out this past week, 1 year before the 2026 midterms, Democrats lead Republicans in the fight for Congress by 8 points, 50 to 42%. The largest lead for either party on the congressional ballot in the NBC News poll since the 2018 midterms. Conservative strategist Brandon Buck simply wrote, "Yikes," on social media. Nearly 2/3 of voters say Trump hasn't met their expectations on the economy, giving Democrats an opening in the midterm elections. Republicans also hold a 10-point advantage on who is to blame for the government shutdown. 52% say Republicans, 42% say Democrats. More numbers. Views of the president can outweigh perceptions of the opposition party. Trump's approval rating in the poll stands at 37%, the worst of his second term in CNN polling, and roughly equivalent to his 36% approval rating at this point in his first term. And his disapproval rating, 63%, is numerically the highest of either term. Democrats appear to have a very early advantage. 47% of registered voters say they'd vote for the Democrat in their district if the election were held today, while 42% prefer the Republican. More say that they have ruled out supporting a Republican, 42% say I'll never vote Republican, then say the same about a Democrat. Only 35% say I'll never vote for a Democrat. 41% say they would be sending a message that they oppose Trump with their vote, nearly double the 21% who say their vote would be a message of support for the president. Independents break in Democrats' favor on the generic ballot, 44% to 31%. And Democrats or Democratic-leaning independents are far more likely than Republican-aligned voters to say they're extremely motivated to vote next year, 67% compared with 46%. So generic Republicans losing to generic Democrats. Democratic voters hold a 20-point edge in who is excited and motivated to vote next year. Trump's record low approval rating is causing more than 40% of voters to say, listen, I'm going to go to the polls and I'm going to vote, but I'm not voting for a party. I'm voting against this a-hole. And that's what I told you would happen. I've been saying that for weeks, if not months at this point. The real threat to Republicans next year is not that Democrats are going to come out with the best policy proposals and run the best campaigns and just knock it out of the park, right? I wish they would. Maybe they will. I don't think they will. But the reason the Democrats will win is twofold. One, people are going to vote against Trump, so they'll go to the opposition party, so more people will swing Democrat. That's one. Number two, Republican turnout, due to the lack of enthusiasm and motivation, is going to cause a lot of Republicans to stay home. So it's going to depress the Republican vote while the moderates and independent jump over to the Dem side for one cycle, perhaps longer if the Democrats deliver. So that is the threat to the Republican Party. I do believe it is going to happen. Tuesday, again, was an appetizer. It was a good appetizer. Can't wait for the main course next year. But keep in mind, before you get a little too excited, we do still have 12 months to go. And maybe the Republicans change course, right? Maybe they become decent human beings. Not going to hold my breath on that. And I think the Democrats are in store for a phenomenal November in 2026. Hey folks, I don't know if you have noticed, but we are like this close to 1 million subscribers. We do not have much time left on this year. We are already entering the holiday seasons. I know everybody's busy. Everything in politics is crazy, but I want everybody to refocus your efforts right now. We have got to get to that 1 million subscriber mark before the end of this year. So if you are not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Spread the word, share the videos, get as many people as possible as you can. Not just because we want to hit 1 million subscribers, which we definitely do, but most importantly, politics, real voices talking about politics, is becoming increasingly rare. We are watching as corporate media outlet after corporate media outlet bows down to Donald Trump, universities bowing down, lawyers bowing down, giving in to his insane demands even when they are in the right. We will never do that. We are not going to stop. We are going to continue bringing the hard-hitting and sometimes fun news of the day. We're not afraid of anyone. We're not afraid to tackle any issue. So again, you want to keep this going. You want good, unfiltered news that you can easily digest and move on with your day. Subscribe to Fair and Balanced and spread the word. Get more people on board, and let's hit that 1 million subscriber mark before the end of this year.